Welcome to Team Daikon Project Levels. My name is Michael Altman. This first level is mine, and I hope you enjoy it. As a scrapper, I will attempt to interact with the car, causing it to slide in the water, creating a path to the other side. The player picks up a scrap metal, and then proceeds to jump over the car to get over the pond to avoid the toxic water. As a scrapper, I will use the broken tire to break through the window, allowing me access into the building. By using the broken tire, you can shoot it into the window, and it breaks into the window. As a scrapper, I will use the broken tire to smash through the window, allowing access to the next room. And by using that broken tire, you gain access to the next room. As you continue on, you pick up a scrap metal here, and as a scrapper, you must use the grapnel to move the crates and uncover the door so that you can proceed into the next room. By pressing E, after removing the crate, you open the door, proceed to the next room by first picking up the scrap metal, and then open up the door with E. Upon entering the next room, you find another piece of scrap metal, and then you make your way onto the next piece. Finding another piece of scrap metal. After pressing E, you find out the door is locked, and you must come to this broken cubicle, crouch and crawl through the open window of the cracked window, and then make your way through the window. Upon entering the next room, you pick up a piece of scrap metal, and then you must use the grapnel to throw the table through the window, breaking the window and getting accessing the elevator in the next room. Breaking through that door allows you to find several pieces of scrap metal. After exiting, you can see the elevator. You interact with the elevator, which will bring you up to the second floor, allowing access into the next room. And then crashing into the next room, you find a crate storage room, which actually has quite a few scrap metals in that you can easily jump onto the crate and go through. As a scrapper, you must move crates to create a staircase to reach the next window, break through, and in order to get to the next room. By grabbing some of the little crates, you can actually move it around just enough to where you can get it on top of the rack. Jump on the rack, grab the scrap metal, grab that crate again, and then try tossing it through the window. By moving the crates, you actually get through a broken door that actually shows a piece of scrap metal as well. And trying this door out, find out that it's locked. Before exiting the level, the room, you actually find that part of the wall is discolored, and you find behind it is a whole bunch of scrap metal. And there's the last one. Exit out of there. Exit out of the broken door. Oh, there's some more scrap metal. And as the scrapper, you must crouch down and travel through the ventilation shaft in order to reach the next area of the building. And crouching all the way through. And going. And there you go. Make it through the next ventilation shaft to a hidden room. And you get through all the debris to get the scrap metal. And as the scrapper, you must make your way through the debris to be able to actually get through the breakable wall. And upon entering a crate room, storage room, you find a whole bunch of pieces of metal before going into the next room. As the scrapper, you interact with the elevator, which will bring you up to the third floor, allowing access to the next room. And upon entering this next room, you actually have to avoid the water so that you don't die. Break through the door, pick up the scrap metal, shoot a table over, collect all the scrap metal you can, and take the table with you. Oh, get hurt by the water just a little bit. Oh, the water, it hurts. Gotta be careful to point this water. 66% now. And then, upon getting to the next one, as a scrapper, you break the final window and leap to the ground, making your way to the next level. There's an air mattress that actually keeps you from falling to your death, and then head into the next level.
Hey guys, this is Jason Trinidad, and this is my beta area. So first things first, we would have to get past these barrels. Then we have some debris here, and then we'll just crouch down underneath. We'll go up to that control panel right there and just hit the E key. I see that we're having issues though, so that's one thing I know I need to fix, but other than that, hit the E key and the door opens. So we look around, we have a fake wall right here. We can just break that wall and get that item on here. And then we have a door right here with a switch on the passage to the right, which again, we're still having issues with this door, but it does open. Just after a few more presses than I would like to. Alright, and then back here we have a collectible with sound. Just go ahead and pick that up. So after we get through this door, we're going to have two more doors. We're going to have a secret door on the right and the main passage on the left. We're going to go through this passage back here. We have some barrels, they're movable. We have some boxes that we can knock down either with the grapnel or just walk straight into them. And then we have the control panel back here, which I believe this is the only door that worked with one try. And then we have this door right ahead of us. There's a collectible right behind it. There we go. Alright, and then we have a little area to the right, just the just some regular jumping, nothing special. And then we're going to make it back to this door, and this has access to the next area. And then it seems like my doors have issues again, but no worries, it works, it does work. After 20 tries. Alright, then we got another collectible here behind the grass. And then this is the final area of my game. We got some boxes, one little thing behind here. There we go. Then we have this little area. If you do fall in, you will die, but there is a checkpoint. Okay, and then we'll just grab this collectible right here, and that ends my levels. Thank you guys, and I hope you enjoyed.
Hello, my name is Josh Neese, and this is my area. So the player comes across an old scrapper's hideout. He notices the vault. Obviously it implies interest. Goes over to the book, and it has some interesting stuff in it. In the keypad, we don't have the key code, so we can't open it yet. The player runs around the side, cracks open the door, sees the small hole in the wall, crawls under, picks up the second book. Second book has a second part of the code. Player comes in, it's a dead end, but the book stated there was a staircase he could pull down. Comes around, picks up the boxes to make a staircase to get up to the pull down stairs. Jumps up, and when the player pulls down the stairs, he is free to enter the second area. So when you climb up, right at the top, there is a reward in a gear that the player can obtain. Makes a small jump over the gap and greeted with another gap. The player takes a box, puts it in the center, so he can use it as a platform to jump across, and is rewarded with some cash. Oh, and things happen from time to time. The player falls down. No worries, the path is clear, so the player can jump up back to where he was. Take two. The player jumps over the gap and is greeted with an even larger gap that he needs to fill with some planks. The player covers the gap with the plank, and then now he has a bursted pipe. The player crawls under the pipe, and around the side, another gear pickup. Leaps over the small gap and around the corner, and another burst pipe. Jumps around, gets the third or fourth pickup, and gets a health pack to boost his health. And the final burst pipe, the player crawls under and goes to the scrapper's room. In the room, finds the fifth book, but not the sixth. Runs around the edge, and there the sixth book is. So, and then in the tunnel, we found the code. So the player goes up to the keypad, presses K. Presses K for the vault door to open. Runs around the side and notices a gear that he can pick up. Comes around, and the place has been relatively looted. So it comes in here, goes and closes the vault door, picks up another health back. You can see the vault door is closed, so no one can come after you. And then the player finally picks up the last few pieces of collectibles, money, and a gear, and then exits the area. Escapes to Trevor's.
Hi, this is Trevor ONeill, and this is my level. You will begin my level area by exploring the outside of the complex. There are collectibles and a few assets you can see. This is an entirely optional part of my level. You do not have to go around and collect these collectibles, but for sake of completion you would. Most of the crates, if not all of the crates in my level, are interactable, so you can grab them and move them with the grav null. You'll then run up to the console, press the E key, and enter into the complex. Moving through the front lobby, you'll move on your way to the next part of the complex. To the left up there, you will see a vent. You will then use these crates to create a staircase up to the vent. Once you get to the vent door, you can rip it off with the grav null and jump through it. Moving into here, there is a junkyard that you can traverse. Within here, there are more collectibles, none of which are required to progress. It's just extra collectibles for the player to collect. These collectibles on the platform would be worth more to the player. Moving back to the other area of the complex, we just have to traverse the junkyard one more time. And you will climb out of the provided staircase. and move toward the next area of the complex. Here there are 2 lifts and a lot of interactable boxes. There are also collectibles in this area. We'll activate this other lift here. Over here is a collectible behind this interactable crate. Grab this other collectible here and move on to floor 2. Where the lifts that you activated on floor 1 become part of the floor on floor 2. Over here to the left is another collectible that you can grab, hidden behind crates. Moving to the next area, you must get through to the next part of the complex by breaking through these boxes or by moving the crates. You will then traverse across these balance beams that were once support beams. Run over to the right and grab these 2 collectibles. And continue along to the next little maze part of the level. You will traverse this maze, and afterwards you will make it to the stairwell to floor 3. These 2 boxes are interactable, but they are mostly for decoration. This hole here actually leads to floor 2. You can stack crates and make it up to floor 3 that way. Moving into this room, there is a safe with prototype blueprints. You can either run into the safe, rip the safe off with the grav null, or you can destroy the safe doors with a crate. Then this wall over here is a breakable wall. You can either run through it like Iron Man, or you can throw a crate into it to break it, similar to the safe door. Exiting the level, we will enter the next player's area.
Hello, my name is Thomas Hall and welcome back to my level. The start of the level, the player goes into a bit of a caved in area. It's kind of got the feeling of a bunkerish sort of area, with all the bricks being tiled and everything and the concrete floors. Here the player can go into a small hidden shaft where they can gain the first collectible. Door here is meant to be caved in and the player can move that, and if they look through there then they can see the first turret behind the grating. The device on the right denotes checkpoints and can also heal the player if they stand right next to it. First collectible is under a load of beams which have collapsed, and the player can move them in a simple movement puzzle. Here the player can go up to the turret they saw earlier, and they can pick up debris on the floor and throw at the turret in order to destroy it. You can have 2 focus crystals that are present, which are required to destroy the pillar blocking the elevator. Unfortunately, the objective system isn't working for this build, and as such the pillar has not spawned in. However, this will be fixed in the gold. The player then goes to the storeroom where they can find collectibles hidden on the shelves, and the 2 focus crystals in this area. 3 focus crystals in this area have been placed in the range of the turret in the left corner and over the toxic waste present. If the player attempts to cross the toxic waste covered by the turret, they will take an enormous amount of damage, and it will generally be unsurvivable. This is the more difficult version of the turret setup. The focus crystals are different to the salvage pickups, which are optional. The salvage pickups are greyish white, whereas the focus crystals are blue, as that helps to try and identify the crystals. When the player's got the 5 crystals, the pillar's meant to be destroyed, playing a laser sound, which was in the last build. The player is then in the lower area, where they can again, like the hardest turret interaction, that's the healing device being used there, and the sound being played. Although this is the harder part of the turret interaction, where they are required to destroy 2. It is possible to run through, but this requires a lot of dexterity on the part of the player, as they'll take an immense amount of damage otherwise. Additionally, the distance between the player and the turret has been increased from the previous areas, requiring the player to make a running throw in order to throw the debris far enough. This can be quite difficult, and there is a plan to implement a system where the debris falls down from above as soon as it lands at the bottom of this pool of toxic waste here. If the player enters this pool, they'll die instantly. Here the player enters the next level.
Hello, this is Jerry Wisdom for Beta Design Level Walkthrough. You first enter my area, drop down from the end of Tom's, you'll enter a sandy area now with my terrain texture. Once you grab the key and open the door, you'll enter my first building, and you'll see my fire textures that I have created. You'll pick up the water bucket to put out the first fire. Second fire and third fire. Optional cash pickup, and then exit the area. Once in the alleyway, you'll use the grapnel to pick up the box closer to the catwalk. Use it to get up on top and acquire the 4th bucket. Put out the next fire. These fires were working, but they're not anymore for some reason, and so for these other fires as well. You'll enter the crouch underneath the barrels, the pipes here, to get past those fires, and then pick up the last bucket of water. Enter this area. I extended the shelves here so they couldn't be walked on. Pick up the zipline handle. The box collider for the money is kind of iffy. Use E to acquire the ladder to get up on top of the bridge and drop down into the rest area. Pick up the money and the code papers that are here. My box colliders were busted on my fire escapes, so they had to enter transition points. You'll drop down in this area. Once past that, you'll pick up the fire extinguisher and use the grapnel for the boxes to push and get to the ladder. Once up top, you can put out this fire with the fire extinguisher and use this board to cross over. Again, my box colliders were busted on my fire escapes, but once up top, you can use E. Only if you have the zip line handle. Once on that, just dropped off into my area and you're finished. Hope you enjoyed my level. Thank you.